Hey, hi there. Welcome back to PyMLFinance. So far in this playlist, we understood what stocks are, why companies issue stocks, why investors buy stocks. Now, the next obvious question is, are all stocks the same? And the answer is no. Stocks can be classified in many ways depending on company size, how the company uses its profit, where the company operates, whether the company is public or private. So let's go step by step here. Now, before we classify stocks, we must understand market capitalization. Okay. So in simple terms, market capitalization, or you can say market cap. Okay. In simple terms, market cap tells us how big a company is in the stock market. Okay. The formula for market cap or capitalization is very simple. That is share price into total shares outstanding. That's it. For example, suppose a company has 10 crore shares. Okay, let's say there is a company XYZ and it has 10 crore shares, and each share trades at rupees 100, for example. Now in this case, the market cap of this company XYZ would be rupees 1000 crore. Okay, so this represents the market value of the company's equity. Now shares represent ownership. Okay, bonds or options do not represent ownership. All shares together, all shares, when you combine all shares, this together represents 100% ownership of the company. Okay, now the next question is, does the market cap change? So understand this. Number of shares usually stays stable. Number of shares are usually same. They stable. Stay stable. But share prices changes every day. Price of the share changes every day. It can go up, it can go down. So market cap changes mainly because of price movements. All right, if the price goes up, market cap increases. If the price goes down, market cap decreases. Now there is a concept of stock split. So if a company does a 2:1 stock split, it means for every one share held, you are getting two stocks. Okay, so here the shares gets doubled, prices are halved, shares are doubled here, prices gets halved. Okay, but market cap remains the same. Okay, so splits don't change the value of the value of the company, that is market cap, but they improve the affordability. Now since the prices has gone halved, anyone can afford it much better than it was earlier. So for example, if someone had 100 rupees and the price of the share of a company was 200 rupees, so he or she couldn't buy. But once the prices are halved after split, now the price of that share is 100 rupees and he or she can easily afford it, easily buy the share of that company. Now let's understand different categories under market capitalizations. Okay, so stocks are usually classified as large cap, where the market cap is 10 crore rupees, 10,000 crore and above. Mid cap, where the market cap is between rupees 2,000 crore to rupees 10,000 crore. Small cap, where the market cap is rupees 300 to rupees 2,000 crore. and micro cap companies has market cap of less than rupees 300 crore. All right. Now coming to large cap stocks. Okay. Now these are big established company. These are big established company. For example, Reliance in India or Apple in US. This is India and this is in US. Okay. They are known brands, Reliance, Apple. They have experienced management. The managements of the company are experienced people. Okay. Now coming to small cap stocks. Okay, so these are smaller companies and early or growth stage. They are in early or growth stage, means these companies are has still started, just started, or are still growing. Now they have high risk, they are highly risky. The business can collapse or business can do a better performance. Okay, but these stocks also have higher potential reward. Higher potential reward. So high risk means high potential reward is possible over there. Okay, now one thing to add, these large cap stocks are often called blue chip stocks. Okay, these large cap stocks are often called blue chip stocks. They are relatively safer. These large cap stocks are relatively safer. Okay, less volatile, but growth is slower here. Slower growth compared to small cap stocks. All right. These small cap stocks can grow fast, can grow very fast, but can also fail badly. So small caps are not bad, but just riskier than large cap stocks. Now another way to classify stocks is based on what the company does with its profits. Okay, so there are two types, one is growth stocks and the other is income stocks. Now let's understand this. Okay, now growth companies, their motto is to reinvest whatever profits they generate. Okay, they focus on expansion, focus on expansion. They pay little or no dividends. They may pay little dividends or no dividends. Their goal is to grow the business and not pay income today. Their primary focus is to grow business and not pay the income or the profit that they generate today. Now, investors buy these growth stocks with some hopes. What are those hopes? For investment. One is capital appreciation. So you buy the stock at low price, and over the time as company grows, the stock price or share price of the company increases. So this is your capital appreciation. Long term gains. So after long term, when the company stock price increases, you can sell the stock and you can make some gain out of it. Okay, so for example, Microsoft, let's talk about Microsoft. Okay, they paid no dividend for many years initially when they were growing. Okay, paid no dividends initially while they were growing. Now coming to income stocks. So income stocks pay regular dividends. They pay regular dividends. Their business is mature. Okay, business of income stock is mature. They generate steady cash flow. Steady cash flows. And why do investors buy these stocks? Now investors buy these stocks for regular dividend income. Their stability, the business is stable, so investors buy them for the business stability as well. Now one thing to remember here, as discussed already in earlier videos, dividends are not guaranteed. No companies guarantee dividend payment. Okay, company can reduce or stop dividends paying. Now one important insight here is a company can change categories over time. Company can change categories over time. So company that is growth now can become income in future. Company that is income now can become growth in future. Okay, this is rare but possible. Now let's understand another categories of stocks, that is domestic and foreign stocks. So domestic stocks, so these are company based in your country. So whichever country you are residing in, company based in your country. So for you, these companies are domestic stocks. Okay, the revenue, currency and economy are familiar. Okay, and these are easier to understand for any investor. So on countries company are easier to understand their business, their risk. It is easy to understand. However, foreign stocks are those companies which are companies based in another country other than your residing country. Okay, here we have exposure to foreign economy, foreign currency, and different regulations in different countries. Okay. Now, the next question can be, why should you hold foreign stocks? Why should anyone hold foreign stocks? Okay. And the very important reason is diversification. If one country or sector struggles, for example, another country may perform well. Okay, so if your country's companies are performing well, economy is down, the other countries economy might be growing, might be performing better, and hence you will have a better gain in that country. Okay, now one more reason is currency effect. So even if a foreign stock price doesn't change, for example, let's say the currency appreciation is always going up and down. So currency appreciation can increase returns and currency depreciation can reduce returns. So foreign stocks involve two types of risk here. Two types of risk is involved in foreign stocks. Number one is equity risk. So whatever risk is associated with equity, it is there. Another added risk is your currency risk, because currency also fluctuates over time. So what if currency appreciates, it's good for you, you get gain. But if currency depreciates, it reduces your return simply. Now let's understand public equity versus private equity. So this classification is based on who can invest. Okay, so coming to public equity, shares are traded on exchange. As discussed, shares are traded on exchange, so anyone can buy or sell the shares. Prices are transparent here, everyone can see what is the current price of the particular stock. These are highly liquid means always there is some buyer or some seller available in the market. This is what most retail investors participate in. So most of the retail investors participates in public equity. Now coming to private equity. Now the shares for private equities are not publicly traded. Are not publicly traded. Only investors like high net worth individuals, investors like high net worth individuals, okay, individuals or some institutions invest in private equities. These are less regulated, okay. For public equity there is always regulator. So for example, SEBI in case of India regulates public equities, that is stock market. But private equities are less regulated, they are less liquid. You may not be able to find all the time the buyer or seller for the private equity, okay. Hence it is less liquid, and more control is for founders. Founders have more control on private equity, okay, more control for founders. Now companies may stay private to avoid quarterly pressure, okay. So if you become public equity, uh, you have to produce quarterly results of your company, of your business performance publicly, and you have to make it available publicly. So in order to avoid quarterly pressure, company stay private. They also stay private to retain control, okay, and also to reduce regulatory burden. Sometimes private companies later go public as well, okay. Early investors in these stocks always benefit heavily. In private equity, whoever are the early investors, they always have benefit. All right, so that's all for this video. Thank you and happy learning.